Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to see so many of you still here after such a long day. I was actually planning to start with this video, but it seems we don't have sound. So it's basically one of the first development we did in collaboration with with Autodesk, sorry. So we did a kind of hacking session trying to connect Alexa to Revit and to start to do some transaction, but it's a pity that the sound is not working. But you can find it on YouTube as well. So, like Philip mentioned, I'm Luciano Ungureanu. As you can see on the slide, I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the TU Berlin, but in the same time, I'm also a technical lead at Contact. And because I don't develop all the stuff by myself, or I get not so much involved, I have the brilliant mind behind the stuff we are going to show you today that we develop on top of Forge with me. So we have Devin and Damien. Maybe you can say a few words about you.
Sure. My name is Devin. I've been working at Contact for a couple of years now, and I'm a full stack developer for them.
Hello all, my name is Damien. I'm a full stack developer at Contact.
Thank you. So first, sorry, I move like that. So first, before jumping into actually showing, so first, before jumping and looking into the work we've done at Contact by using Forge, I'm going to introduce you shortly what we are actually doing at the TU Berlin. The chair at the TU Berlin, it's a brand new chair. We started it in 2016. And it's basically called civil systems engineering. It's something you don't hear much in the civil engineering field, but the main idea is actually looking at how we are designing engineering things from a holistic perspective, right? In our classes at the TU Berlin, we focus on product modeling, mainly teaching the students the basics of parametric design. We also have a more philosophical class, which we're actually looking into how can we design actually more flexible to change product systems. I think because most of you are familiar with the software development industry, it's a kind of translation of the philosophy from the agile systems engineering, right? So having this agility in mind and also thinking about the flexibility to change when we actually design, engineer our product. And we also look at or teach the students on how to simulate various processes around the civil systems in short term, like the basic energy analysis, or on long term during the life cycle. More of that, we are also looking or teaching our students how to actually work or use the machine learning in a civil engineering field. So we have a whole class, data engineering we call it, but it's basically teaching the students the basic of data analytics, and they get to learn the most common machine learning methods and how they can use them in the civil engineering field. And of course, wrapping up everything into one class, thinking about collaboration, integration. It's a hands-on class where the students can start working on a project, usually using what kind of tools they want. And I can tell you, they can, sometimes they pick some tools I never heard about, but we have to try to integrate them and to have a good flow of information between different disciplines and specialties. Let's see. Yeah, more on that, we are also involved on several Horizon 2020 projects. Some of them are in energy efficient renovation. Some of them are related to transport modes, like railways, waterways, and so forth, and the safety related to this kind of networks. Some of them are related to disaster recovery planning. Usually, most of the cities, when is a disaster coming, you need to have a good strategy to recover the city. This is actually, the voice tier simulation is actually my project, so I decided to put it up there. So the idea is actually, how can we get the information out of the conversation the designers have during these collaborative design sessions and to trigger design space exploration. So we keep talking about the parametric design, computational design, and generative design. So probably in the near future, the designer and the engineers, they will no longer create the models, will be the machine to create the models. So how do we actually get the input from people to start steering the design and actually running this or various design exploration based on the ideas they have during the design. And of course, we have just a brand new project, which probably we're about to start working beginning of next year. It's called CBIM, but it's cloud-based building information modeling, and it's mainly a European training network. So we try to set up a European training network to actually teach the people, train the people how to make use of the state-of-the-art technologies and tools which are available to them out there. So moving to Contact. About Contact a bit, our business is actually, let's say, focused on two directions. One is software development, and the other one is consultancy. And for software development, we are doing developing or implementing algorithms for geometric spatial reasoning. We develop web-based platform, or of course, for GIS or BIM apps. From the consultancy perspective, we offer trainings in data analytics, virtual design and construction on project implementation, also virtual design and construction and training. Our CEO is actually coming from, has his background in education, he has a PhD at Stanford, so he took over the idea of virtual design and construction and the integrated project delivery from Martin Fisher. I don't know if you heard about him. He's behind this entire idea. Business simulation, IT architecture, design, and of course, BIM strategies at a company and project level. All right. So moving towards the stuff we developed in Forge. So this is one of the projects on top of Forge which we actually collaborated with Autodesk. So the idea was to develop or to do some demo case where we look into which are the challenges on developing a model checker on top of Forge, right? So you can look and see the customer job is to check if the design follows specific standards, right? But we all know that out there are a lot of standards. So to create rules to actually cover all those standards is actually an impressive amount of work which needs to be done. I know that from research, also from practice while I was working as BIM manager. Of course, there are also some of the pains, like a manual checking. Sometimes it's automated. I remember I implemented some Dynamo scripts to actually run the quality checks on the Revit models. Sometimes also using Solibri, and you can see the last one is actually using several tools to actually make sure that we fulfill all the quality standards on the project. Of course, most of the work done is locally, it's not visible to the entire team. And of course, it's a repetitive task because you have to do it over and over again. With each phase, we have to actually recheck the models, right? Which after each design phase, you have to recheck the models to see maybe something went wrong and something which was actually in a good shape in the previous during the previous check is no longer actually fulfilling the standard requirements, right? So with Forge-based solution, actually, we can run some automatic checking because it's in the cloud. You have high visibility, result stored and accessible through cloud, and checking multiple files at the same time. That's possible, right? And then, from the business perspective, some of the collaboration opportunities. And after that, I will just jump into a video showcasing the model checker. If you are interested in implementing, sorry for that. on implementing internal and external standards, implementation of engineering requirements, or implementation requirements on top of Forge. We, of course, at Contact, we can help you with that. Developing together such a model checkers. So this is a just a video of the current state. We brought the model checker. So basically, all the requirements to be checked are actually on Excel file, which are actually exported from a different tool Autodesk has in the house. So you can define at each project phase which are the requirements to be checked, which are the information required. So having that file, we all know that most of the times the people just love working with Excel. Maybe things will change and we'll have like a configurator on top of Forge, allowing people to set up different rules and so forth. But of course, in this case, we just check the if specific parameters are there for pumps and valves, for example. If specific parameters fulfill specific constraints we define, it can be a value between minimum and maximum. It can be a value bigger than 0 and so forth. Damien, do you want to add something? It's okay. Yeah, so so this way you can get like, the results. You can even store them in a database and so forth. The next tool we actually worked recently, and it's still, currently it's in the pre-release phase. How many of you experience the fact that they had to transfer some design files from one BIM 360 account to a different one, and they actually had to download them and to upload them on the other account? So the app we develop on top of Forge actually allow you to do that. So we have 2 BIM 360 accounts, and you just do the transfer of the files from one account to the other account. And imagine you work with clients, right? Maybe they have their account. They ask you to transfer the files from your working progress area, or from to share some files with them from different purposes. And you actually have to move them to their account because you don't want to give them access to your account and so forth. So that's one of the pains, is like download the file locally, upload the file to the second BIM 360 account. That would be like a normal workflow, right? If you have multiple files, you have to repeat the task over and over again. A big file, huge waiting time. You are dependent on the network. How fast can you actually, your network support the download of the files to your machine, and then upload them back to the other BIM 360 account. And with the app we develop, it is integrated with your BIM 360 account. Basically, it's a 3-legged authentication, right? So you have a high-speed transfer, which is mainly server-based, right? Where you can plan multiple transfer jobs, and you do it on cloud. You no longer have to download the files on your local machine. And of course, we provide this, we plan to provide this as a service based on a subscription. But of course, if you are looking for more advanced workflow, such as automatic synchronization between 2 different accounts, or some workflow-based transfer files, then don't hesitate to contact us. So moving to the next slide. Yeah, so this is a recording of the app we are currently planning to release before Autodesk University in Vegas. So basically, you'll need to have, or to create an account to our platform, to our app. You'll need to choose a subscription plan, and then you are up to go. As you can see, you can just log in with your BIM 360 credentials, and then you have access to different hubs, a different project, a different parts of your BIM 360 account you have access or with your account, right? And then, of course, it's easy job. Select the file you want to transfer and select the folder where you want to move it on the other account, and the transfer takes place, right? Takes a bit of time currently working on a performance, but here you go. And of course, you can select multiple files, and you can say, okay, it's kind of a batch job. But even if you close the window, the transfer works in the background. If you want to keep in touch with us, of course, you have some hyperlinks, which mainly leads to the research projects we are working on at the university and also at our page at the university. As well, if you want to know more about the technical aspects of our apps and the challenges we face when we work on the implementation, we do have a class at Autodesk University here in Darmstadt on Wednesday from 2 o'clock in room 204. The title is in German. And of course, you can get in contact with us by sending us emails or accessing our website. Thank you very much.